The AutoPanel tool automatically sizes and places panels in AutoCAD exhibit drawings and reduces panel placement time by a factor of 20 to 25. AutoPanel also automatically prepares panel symbols to provide the kind of information needed to produce detailed material lists. Using AutoCAD alone to routinely insert dozens of panels into the supporting structures of various exhibits, taking care to accommodate different panel sizes, elevations, and placement angles can be a tedious and time-consuming task. To better understand the time savings provided by AutoPanel, let's first take a look at how panels are normally placed in a drawing using AutoCAD alone. If the user already has a library of standard panel blocks that are used in most exhibits, that can save about a minute per panel when placing them into a drawing. In this example, we'll place a panel block symbol into the structure for a wall section. Just searching for a specific panel size in a large symbol library will always add a few seconds to each panel placement operation. And when a particular size is missing, the designer or detailer is forced to create the panels from scratch. And custom exhibits nearly always require creating panels from scratch. For this, a panel object is created and then converted into a block symbol. This permits naming each unique panel and allows AutoCAD to help count panels in a drawing. Let's take a look at how creating these symbols is typically done and how much time is involved. Let's zoom in a bit closer. We begin by measuring the length of a crosspiece between the pair of posts for a wall section. We use the dist command to measure this length. This gives us the exposed width of a panel. We also use the dist command to measure the distance between the inside faces of a pair of crosspieces. This gives us the exposed height of a panel. We'll use the AutoCAD box command to create each three-dimensional panel object since it offers the fastest way to create them. Each panel is 1/4 inch thick, and all measurements are relative to the lower left-hand corner of the box. We'll use the Move command to center each panel object along the inside face of each crosspiece pair. Next, we will convert a panel object into a block symbol. For this, we use AutoCAD's Block command. The full size of each panel will be used to help create a unique block name. Since a 1/4 inch of panel fits inside the slots of each post in each crosspiece of the pair, we add a 1/2 inch to each of the measurements made earlier to calculate full panel size. After creating this block symbol, let's see what we've learned so far. To place a single panel block symbol from an existing symbol library took around 25 seconds under ideal conditions. To create a panel block symbol from scratch, including making a panel object, took about 1.5 minutes. This was also under ideal conditions. Exhibits may contain between 5 to 100 panels or more. Many of these panel symbols will be placed using symbols from a symbol library. The rest will be created from scratch. The time required to add panels to an exhibit drawing will typically range from 10 or 15 minutes for a simple 10x10 booth to 2 to 3 days for larger booth sizes and more complex styles. But designers and detailers must do more than just place panels in their drawings. They must also count all the panels in an exhibit and group them according to size, panel material, material color, whether or not a panel gets graphics artwork, and so on. This information then has to be shown in material lists for the exhibit, lists they must make time to create. AutoCAD can help count all of the panels that share the same block name, but that's as far as it can go for simple blocks without attributes. In a moment, we'll see that AutoPanel not only automatically sizes and places panels, but it prepares each panel symbol to provide the kind of information needed to produce detailed material lists. Let's begin with the AutoPanel dialog box. Let's use AutoPanel the way a detailer or designer might use it on a daily basis. This also provides the opportunity to see how easily and quickly AutoPanel creates custom curved panels. And you will be able to see all the information that AutoPanel automatically attaches to the panels it creates. This can potentially save hours of time and prevent list errors when the user begins to create material lists for an exhibit. In this real-world test, AutoPanel not only is at least 20 to 25 times faster in placing panels than when using AutoCAD alone, it also automatically attaches information to each panel as we saw at the end. This information will be needed later to produce material lists for the exhibit. It includes panel part number, colors for each side, material used, description, an optional note, panel length or width, panel height, artwork status, rented or sold status, and estimated panel weight and cost. Each panel we placed using AutoPanel contains information like this. Here's a quick example of an Xzibitware standard materials report for these panels we just created. It requires no extra effort to create a report like this when using AutoPanel in Xzibitware. Remember these panels we placed using AutoCAD alone? They have absolutely no materials information attached to them. That's what you get when you use AutoCAD alone with simple blocks. Now, imagine that all these panels were placed using AutoCAD alone. Think of how much extra time will be spent providing information about these to create a materials list similar to the one we just saw. A list, by the way, that was created in under 5 seconds by Xzibitware. Using AutoPanel working inside AutoCAD versus using AutoCAD alone is no contest. AutoPanel delivers large time savings while providing quick, precise panel placement, very accurate panel sizing, and application-specific information about each panel for reliable exhibit materials reporting.